Harris is not that old. I don't think Kamala Harris is 65 years old. After she leaves office, baby, it's a wrap. She's not going to go back to being a prosecutor. No. She is going to pretty much be a speaker. She's going to get paid to go around and talk about her time in public office and what it means to be a public servant. And she'll get paid probably like 50, 60 grand. That'll be her moratorium. No, I'm sorry, not her moratorium, her honorarium. Listen, she's not running for re-election. Her political career is effectively over. January, what is it, 13th? It's done. See ya. See ya. Where they wanna be ya. She is not. First of all, you gotta understand something. She is only in the position that she's in right now as VP because Biden selected her. And he only selected her because of public pressure during the 2020 George Floyd um, Negro riots. All that wokeism put that pressure on Joe Biden to have a woman as his VP, and uh, he had a mission to nominate a black woman to be a Supreme Court justice. And there was a lot of pressure. Listen, the Democrats have lost the 2028 election as well. It's done. They are not going to ever win another presidential election until they can run a candidate that has the ability to go all the way to the far left to where, and when I say far left, I don't mean performative wokeism, appealing like identity politics. I'm not talking about identity politics bullshit. It needs to be far left. Like, we are in the age of hyperpartisanship. Like, nobody cares about being in the middle or appealing to the middle class. Nobody cares about that. You need a Bernie Sanders type of candidate. The problem is all of the leading voices in Congress right now that could probably take on this mantle, they're highly unpopular. AOC can't do it. Rashida Tlaib, she can't do it. Jamal Bowman, APAC got him out. They got him out. Um, listen. It's going to be Gavin Newsom. He's going to. The white liberals on Twitter. They are already like, have you guys seen Gavin Newsom? He eats Republicans alive. He is. I'm like, you all don't get it. These smarmy, snarky, condescending, educated white people that be on Twitter, they are so disconnected from the larger reality of what times we are living in. They don't want a man who's just going to come in and once again appeal to women, black women, gays. No, you need to have. Gavin Newsom is your stereotypical California limousine liberal. You need to have a strong white man from the South, like a Bill Clinton. And you need to have a white man who knows how to stop talking in that jargon, that weird liberal HuffPost, CNN panel jargon whatever however they talk. Right, it can't be Gavin Newsom and it can't be Pete Buttigieg. You need either a Bernie Sanders type of candidate, a straight up white guy who speaks directly to people and talks about the economic issues at hand. And see, listen, everything that happened this past Tuesday, I don't blame Trump. I don't blame Trump. I don't blame the Republicans and right wing reactionary populism, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is on the Democrats. They dropped the ball. These centrist neoliberal types are the ones who also control Hollywood. Many of them get money, big money from corporations. You can't. Nobody cares about these fucking issues. What's your weird question? You need to have. But see, here's the thing. That candidate, he can't listen. Whatever the type of pro working class speak directly to the issues of like eliminating student debt, healthcare debt, raising taxes to their raising taxes on billionaires and the corporate oligarchs, holding corporations accountable, regulating the fuck out of them. Kamala wasn't going to do that. See, even like right now, Joe Biden and his administration, he was somewhat kind of, him and his administration, they were kind of, doing some things here and there. They were trying to stop mergers and acquisitions from happening, and they were trying to stop, like, take for instance with Kroger and Albertsons. They stopped that merger. I mean, they have been trying in different ways of how to be more to the left, but they were like kind of like walking a very fine line, right? But the next Democratic candidate, it has to come out the gate like, no, we are getting rid of student loan debt. We are ending all wars. Yeah, the Democrats, they destroyed the left. Yeah, so and listen, this is the next person. You know what I honestly believe, to be honest with you? And you don't even need one of those weird down to earth folksy Tim Walz types either. I'm telling you, you need a strong white man with a background in like military service and kind of, but here's the thing, that you all are not going to like what I'm about to say. He's going to have to be socially conservative. He's going to have to be socially conservative. They're going to have to be tough on crime. They're going to have to push back on the whole trans thing, and and they're going to have to speak that language. But see, the Democratic Party has tried to be the party for everybody. And unfortunately, that's not going to work because, by and large, America is still very much a very conservative country. And you cannot be one of those fake, I go to church all of a sudden type of liberals. It needs to be somebody who either is like, and then here's the thing. My friend just when they got engaged to a girl online, do you think that that's a good idea? No, that's not a good idea. Online dating is. Oh, I would stop with the online dating shit. Well, then again, if you live in the middle of nowhere and you meet somebody online, but y'all need to start meeting people in person because motherfuckers put on a good front. You think that girl look like Beyonce, and then you see her in person, and that bitch look like motherfucking uh, Beyonce. Got a horrible ass motherfucking Amazon wig on, bad body. You better stop that. Meet these people in person. But the Democrats are done. They're done. And legacy media. That's done. Hollywood is dead. This, if anything, the big takeaway from this election, Hollywood is dead. It's done for. Nobody watches that shit. The big takeaway that everybody should see with this, and let me tell you, I'm sorry, but everybody keeps saying, and these liberals are so disconnected from reality. They're like, oh my God, Elon Musk in Russia, they hacked the voting machines. They did something. Where did all these people go? Like, you mean to tell me 15, 16 million people didn't vote? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people probably were like, you know what, fuck that. The only reason why people, the, the only reason why people did not go out and vote this time around is because in the last election, and people, let me tell you something. Don't sit up here and watch TV, watch motherfucking CNN, MSNBC, and thinking that these elitist liberals who live in DC and New York and whatnot, they live in their own fucking bubbles and echo chambers and shit, and they all just speaking that, you know, fucking HuffPo, Economist, motherfucking New Yorker magazine, jargon. They don't have any idea what the fuck they're talking about. Do you know the reason why all of a sudden all those people came out and voted for Joe Biden in 2020? It's because we were in the pandemic. See, people are not realizing that we were trying to vote Trump out of office because we were all under the illusion that if we get in a more experienced president, that the pandemic would be over. How did everybody seem to forget about this? 2020, people were dying left and right. We were still quarantining. There were still a lot of people who were, we were like, we wanted that shit to be over with. And then 2020 was starting with the pandemic. It was a re-election year. It was a lot going on that year. Then we had the whole George Floyd thing going on, all the riots, the protests. And then people were dying. By that summer, people were dying left and right with COVID. It was spreading all over the country. People were ready. People thought that Biden was going to get into office, and suddenly the pandemic was going to go away. That's the reason why Trump honestly lost that election. Because before COVID, his approval numbers were very high. And let me tell you, he's right about one thing about the media being fake. I'm telling you, when you watch legacy media, when you watch these motherfucking pundits on MSNBC, CNN, and they're just talking in their little smarmy, snarky, condescending, liberal language and whatever, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Like Rachel Maddow, her and her long-winded ass think pieces and shit. What's the name of the black lady? Joy. I forgot her name. And I'm like, who is he? Y'all really think you all are really gonna persuade people? Like, they're so disconnected from reality. Joy Reid, they're so disconnected. Like, yeah, bitch, you're fine. You make about $1 million a year as a fucking MSNBC host, living in your nice townhouse, and you can go and drink your lattes and for $12 and eat almond croissants and shit, and then go fly to Paris and hang out, go to Beyonce concerts, get front row seat tickets and shit. Meanwhile, a lot of Americans are out here. They're like worried about gas prices, housing. They're worried about motherfucking, you know, they wanted to flex their elitist jargon. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, and black people are really, especially a lot of black women. I'm telling you, they get these master's degrees, and and don't let them graduate from a really good school, and they act like their shit doesn't stink. Can't tell them shit. Stink doesn't stink. Can't tell them shit. They get on these news programs. They got their credentials and shit. And let me tell you something. White people, I was on Twitter earlier. Let me tell you, black people have lost any little political capital and social capital that we have had. We have lost that shit. That shit is gone. Because these white folks, they ain't holding back no more. I saw some shit on Twitter. I gotta find this post because they were resharing a post where this this girl, not a girl, this white lady, she had took a screenshot of this black woman's post where she was said, "We black women, we're tired. We ain't what do you call it? We're tired. Don't call us for nothing the next time, and blah 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 blah. We're us black women are tired of saving the world and this, that, and the third." And then all the people in the comments of this Twitter post, I'm trying to find it because that shit, everybody was like, "Oh, you saw that post?" I don't know. Wait, did you see the one on Twitter? Everybody was like, this person was like, "I would never call a black woman for anything. What are they? What are they really good for? All they do is they're a strain on society, and all they do is sit back and collect welfare and food stamps and like all these people on this post, they were going to fucking, they were going to, yeah, they was whacking black women back, yeah, they was not letting up. I was like, whoa. They were like, oh, when has a black woman ever worked hard at anything other than causing what do you call it, bad customer service, can't raise their kids. They was going to fucking, I'm telling these white folks, they're not holding back. Like they are letting their real true feelings be, and there's no repercussion anymore. There's none. There's no repercussion anymore. So, and then I'm seeing a lot of black women, they making jokes about calling ICE on Hispanics, and I'm like, y'all, that's not even necessary. I'm gonna be honest with you. All those people who were riding so hard for Kamala, all the people who early on and on social media, all the big time social media, black social media people who are into politics and stuff, and they were like riding hard for Kamala, and now they're doing the complete opposite. They're like sharing jokes and memes, like they're giving out ISIS number, the hotline, like they're really doing this shit. And I'm like, what do you think you're going to accomplish from that? Because first of all, let's be honest, you're not really upset that Kamala lost because you fear a Trump administration. All that, being that vindictive, and then wanting now to seek retribution because a good number of Latino households voted Republican, right? So now all of a sudden you all are mad, and now you're going to be going in reporting them to the immigration authorities, even though your neighbors, these people could be legal citizens, like, and they were literally saying, I don't care if you've been here forever. I'm gonna call on you, your family, and I'm like, so you all are racist, though. That's racism. I mean, where is the logic in that? You're gonna call the immigrant, but and then here's the thing that blows my mind. Here's the thing that blows my mind. Okay, this is the thing that blows my mind. How you have all this energy to now all of a sudden want to call governmental policing authorities on Hispanics, all because you, your candidate that you're vouching for, lost. And the only reason why you're mad is because you all just want to say, We finally got our black woman president, and you just wanted to rub that in people's faces, right? Because if you truly cared about social justice, you wouldn't suddenly turn around and flip the script like that and suddenly want to turn into a racist super Karen and then essentially go along with the program by participating in the very fascism that you just spent the last year or the last couple of months condemning. Because that's essentially what a fascist, like, you see where I'm going with this, right? That's how you know a lot of these people are, they're so performative and fake. And really what it boils down to is, I'm telling you, it's so performative. All they're just mad because history wasn't made. That's really what this is about. Like, history wasn't made, and it's like, okay, then try again. Because it wasn't like Kamala Harris lost by a thin razor. It wasn't like she lost by such a small margin. That was a historic landslide. An historic landslide. So to sit back and be so enraged and feeling like you were let down. Let down by who? That was a historic landslide. Yes, the fuck it was. Trump took the popular vote and the electoral college vote. And all the polls were saying something completely different. All the major pollsters, it wasn't a landslide at all. What world are you all living in? What would make you think that that was not a landslide when all the polls were saying something completely different? When you look at that map, that popular vote map, it is annoying me. I gotta let it charge. That electoral map was insane. So you know where this go, and I said this in one of my original videos. I said this. I said, I live in a huge major Chicago suburb that in 2020, okay, in 2020, you used to see Joe Biden signs all over the place. 220 to 270 is not a landslide. Do you not know? What are you talking about? He got way more electoral college votes than 270, ma'am. Are you kidding me? He won all the swing states. All of them. All of the swing states. What are you talking about? Hit that is a landslide. What are you talking? Oh my God. Right. Even Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada, they did not buy them votes. Y'all need to stop saying that. I'm telling you, that is just coping at this point. All y'all doing the same thing that they was doing in 2020, talking about it was rigged. Trust me, that shit. Even when you look at California, the gains that Republicans made in New Jersey and California, she lost so many counties. I don't think if she would have had more time to campaign. 3 months is a long time to campaign, to be honest with you. What more else can you say in 3 months? Trust me, people had their minds made up. They had them made up. Don't worry, you just don't. It wasn't that many. Listen, it was not that many undecided people out there. It wasn't. Then Here's the other thing that's blowing my mind, okay? Trump literally was a horrible debater. All going, even his debate against Biden was horrible. His debate against Kamala was horrible. Like, the man, he literally, when his rallies and his speeches were so incoherent, so insane, that people were able to look beyond that and say, you know what, we still voting for him. And let me tell you the reason why they voted for him. And this is something else that people don't realize, you guys. These white people that voted for him, okay, they did not vote for him because they see Trump as being a savior. No, they voted for him for what he represents. They voted for him because, quite honestly, the white upper middle class, the elites, I shouldn't even say the elites, I should say a lot of white upper middle class people, a lot of middle class and upper middle class people, they are tired of seeing your black ass all over media, all over television. They see the country becoming more and more brown. They see minorities gaining numbers. They are really fundamentally afraid of white people being replaced. Trump may not necessarily be the most effective spokesperson to communicate that, but this is essentially what they have voted for. This is the reason why, really, if anything, they don't care about this mass deportation. They don't care about it. They don't care about the Muslim ban mass. What they are worried about is losing the whiteness of this country. They are doing everything now in their power to preserve the whiteness of this country. And that's going to start first with mass deportation. Yeah, it's white. That's really what this election was about, guys. And then here's another thing too. A lot of minorities sat at home. I'm telling you, the only reason why everybody came out in 2020 to go vote for Biden, I'm telling you, that they were voting for him to make the pandemic go away. But because Kamala was a woman and black, oh well, I shouldn't say black, because she was a woman of color, they were like, no, this has gone too far. We had Barack, that was more than enough. We gave the Negroes a chance. We've done all we could do, and let me tell you, a lot of white people, everyone enjoy their 4-year blocks. No, I think white people are clapping back now. I think white people didn't had enough of y'all. I think they didn't had enough. Listen, even in California, they said we didn't have enough of this. They didn't got rid of the mayor of San Francisco, the first black mayor, first black woman mayor of San Francisco. They're like, we didn't have enough of this shit. She need to go. You gotta go. They didn't got rid of the damn prosecutor down in Los Angeles. Listen, guys, white folks done had enough of y'all. They done. They said no, 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 no. We let these blacks get into power at the city level, and they can't manage their own cities. Atlanta, look at Atlanta. Look at Chicago. Look at what Lori Lightfoot and now Brandon Johnson is doing in Chicago. Look at what happened with New York with Eric Adams. Look at Washington, D.C. with, what's her name? I forgot the name of that mayor. Look at San Francisco. Look at Los Angeles. They said we didn't have enough of y'all. Y'all destroying our cities because you woke black women. Y'all arrogant. Y'all don't know how to. Y'all are DEI hires. Y'all are not educated like you think you are. You don't know what you're doing. It's time for y'all to go. I did not vote. I did not. I live in Illinois. I didn't vote. I did not vote. It wasn't gonna matter anyways because I mean Illinois was gonna go for what do you call it for Kamala Harris anyways. But I'm telling you, these white folks done with y'all. Y'all better listen. And y'all sitting up here trying to get into these political positions. I mean, you trying to do you think we'll ever have third parties? No, that'll never happen. Nope. The Democratic Party is done. The Democratic Party is over. That shit is effectively done. That shit is done. Legacy media. See, the last hope that Democrats had was their control over Hollywood and legacy media. And see, the Kamala campaign, they tried to line up all the big time celebrities. They tried to line them up. They had everybody going for Kamala. They had motherfucking Beyonce and motherfucking J Lo and who else? Tom Hanks and everybody, every whoopee. Of course, The View. All the women on The View. I'm telling you, they had all of Hollywood lined up, and that shit did not work. They had all the rappers. They had all the musicians. They had Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande. They had all the white girls in Hollywood, all the white bitches in the music industry, just lining them up, saying, I endorse Kamala because we have to stop Project 2025. And listen, the other white folks, them white folks saw right through it. They were like, fuck that. Fuck that. Ariana Grande, we love your music. We're going to watch you in your new movie coming up. But baby, we voting for Trump. We voting for Trump. 5 CEOs of big pharma industry having an emergency meeting. RFK going after them. Yeah. Listen, I'm telling you, them white folks, they done with y'all. They said enough is enough. That's why I'm saying she had more time. No, I don't think it would have made a difference. Y'all don't understand. Them white folks had their mind made up. They had them made up. Listen, ain't no way in hell. That motherfucker won in the last. I don't think y'all understand the magnitude of what just happened this past Tuesday. All of the major reputable pollsters were saying that Kamala was going to have a landslide. They were even saying that some of the some of the major pollsters were saying that she was possibly going to flip Iowa. And it was the complete opposite. All the polls were wrong. They were wrong. They were wrong. I don't know how they got it so wrong. They said she was going to flip one of the major pollsters. They were wrong in 2016, but this shit is worse. Because at least in 2016, we had no idea who Trump was or what he represented. But now everybody has a clear, like this man has literally been, y'all don't realize we just voted for a man who's been impeached twice. And let me tell you, white folks are fake because let me tell you something. They finna toss out all of them court cases. They'll be like, oh, well, he's the president now, so we can't prosecute him. The judge in that damn New York case, I'm telling you, y'all don't understand. This was a landslide. I was sitting back shocked. I'm thinking, yeah, she probably gonna win. The Pennsylvania, well, she'll probably get Pennsylvania. She'll probably pick up Michigan. She'll probably barely win in Wisconsin. Y'all, let me tell you something. Them white folks said, not on our watch. And let me tell you something. A lot of those white folks, I did say she. No, listen. Let me tell you something. I did make videos saying that she was going to win, right? But I had changed my mind last month. I just did not do any updates. And I said, and I've been saying this for the last if you've been coming on my lives for the last month, I've been saying that she was gonna lose. And I first started saying this when I didn't I? I did say it on live. I said she gonna lose. I said she gonna lose, and it first started with when Obama came out and started talking all that shit with what do you call it, about black men, knowing good and goddamn well most black men were gonna go and vote for motherfucking Kamala, and they keep throwing him under. They keep throwing black men under the bus about this shit, and that shit is just so tiring at this point. Because I'm sitting here thinking to myself, now Obama, you know good and goddamn well the vast majority of the black male electorate will always vote for Democrats. What in the fuck are you talking about? See, this is how you know niggas like him, you can't trust him. And I kind of, let me tell you something. I lived in Hyde Park, Chicago, where he's from. And all them bougie ass Negroes, they really don't like your black asses either. There's something else that needs to be talked about. A lot of them elitist ass black people that work in the higher echelons of the Democratic Party, they really do not like black people like that. I hope you all know that, right? I don't think you all realize this. They don't see you all as an equal to them. They look down upon you all. They have more in common with highly educated white liberals that live in Massachusetts and Maryland and California than they do with your black ass. I'm telling you. He started talking that shit. I was like, this motherfucker is an asshole. Cause he know, and then you knew he fucked up. Because then even all the other black political pundits were like, whoa, Obama, why don't you ever take that tone with these white women that more than likely are going to go and flip and vote for Trump? Why don't you ever do that with white men? Why don't you ever go and the Latinos? But they always got some shit to say to the black people. And we only make up 13% of the population. How the fuck we gonna move the needle? And I told y'all last month, I said, you know what, fuck this political shit. We need to start making this money. Cause see, we sitting up here trying to fix the government. We trying to be superheroes and shit and get into socials. And no, fuck that. Y'all need to become capitalists. See, the problem is a lot of black folks, we too socialistic. And we too socialists. We rely on the government for everything. We need the government. We need more programs. We need more resources. At this point, fuck all that. We need to become ruthless capitalists. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, about it by my way. Yeah, we sit up here trying to fix. And listen, I'm gonna say some shit, and I've been holding my tongue on this. Do you think this election was a major shift in policy? Yes, the fuck it was, because I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. Oh, the Republicans about to get a lot more black people joining them. They are. The Democrats fucked up. And on top of that, I'm gonna tell you else what's going to end up happening. You ain't gonna not do the black vote. We probably not gonna. We black political capital has literally been decimated. Thank you so much for the gift. It's been decimated. It's been. But let me just say this. Let me just say this, guys. Let me tell you something. And I've been said this shit, okay? And I'm going to say some shit, and I know I'm going to sound like an asshole saying this, but we only 13% of the motherfucking U.S. population. Why is your black ass out here trying to solve problems for white folks who create this shit in the first place? They don't even think of you as being a human. They don't think you even that smart. So why in the fuck are you trying to ascend to the highest levels of political power to try to fix problems for white people who created them in the first place? You out here, you out here trying to make it better for everybody. And when we get this mentality, then we gotta get on. Yeah, I'm telling you. Some of us actually like America. I'm not saying dislike America, but what I'm saying is that y'all gotta realize a lot of these, when you get into political power, especially at the federal level, right? See, your policies. Have you guys heard of this thing called drain pool politics? You know what drain pool politics is? You think if black people start making money, things will change? We ain't got no other choice at this point. Because first of all, listen, here's the thing. Here's the reality. Okay? We already don't have shit. When you look at the numbers, black people, we don't have shit. So that's strike number one. Strike number two, they are actively trying to push black people out of Ivy Leagues from getting into Ivy League schools. They are trying to roll back on affirmative action across the board. And it's probably going to get worse because you better believe what's going to end up happening is a whole bunch of them damn conservative justices on the Supreme Court, probably Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito, they are going to retire. They're going to retire. And guess what Trump is going to do? He is going to appoint two fresh, young Supreme Court conservative justices. Sure will. And then you know who else is probably going to croak out? Motherfucking Sonia Sotomayor, because she already got a whole gang of health problems. Listen, the Supreme Court is about to go full right wing. That shit finna have all conservative justices, okay? So when they all get into power, when that court goes fully conservative, you know what's going to end up happening? Every single affirmative action program that you could think of is going to be litigated like a motherfucker. It's going to make its way all the way to the Supreme Court, and they're going to strike that shit down. They're going to strike all that shit down. Trump finna stack all the federal courts with conservative justices. They finna, let me tell you guys something. Y'all don't know what is really about to come down. They finna do away with all types of social services. EBT food stamps, gone. Section 8, housing, all that shit, all these programs, when you read Project 2025, they want to eliminate all of that shit. And let me tell you something. The last time Trump was in power, okay, his administration was chaotic. They had no experience. They had no idea really what they were doing. But this time around, they have been working on this now for the last 5 years, guys. They got a whole army of right-wing nationalist extremists. People that have, they already, a part of Project 2012 and the Heritage Foundation, they have already amassed a massive database of probably 100,000 conservative activists and public policy experts across the board that are already lined up, ready to start working day one, to start chipping away at the federal administrative bureaucracy and to start slashing programs left and right. So all of these social programs, social service programs, FAFSA, all different types of student aid for minorities and people of certain income brackets, all that shit finna get my folks in playing with y'all, boy. Y'all better start making this money. You better stop fucking around. You better stop. Listen, Section 8, housing, TANF, temporary assistance for needy families. WIC, Head Start programs, early childhood programs. Oh, and then let me tell you else what they finna do. That Social Security, they finna privatize that shit. They finna privatize the fuck out of Social Security. They finna get rid of Medicare. Another thing they finna do, I'm telling you, when they come to getting that damn motherfucking yeah, they're gonna raise the retirement age eligibility for Social Security too. They're gonna raise that shit to like 75. So will Social Security stop coming out of our taxes then? Some Republicans want to do away with it entirely and let you reinvest your money back into your 401k. Some actually want those contributions to go into, they want Social Security to pretty much be privatized and have Wall Street take it over. And then public schools, they finna lose all the title funding, Title 4, Title 5, all that Title 3, all that money that they give states, assistance for free lunch programs. Bop, 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 gone. All that shit finna get axed. Motherfucking, I'm telling you, Elon Musk, you know what Elon Musk said? He's, you know why Elon Musk is going to be a part of the Trump administration? Because he's being tasked with overseeing a massive review of federal spending. And what pretty much what he's proposing is that the United States needs to essentially reduce the scale of government so drastically that he said it himself. He was like, for the first 3 years, it's going to be horrible. That it is going to cause a lot of chaos and hard times for a lot of people. But he was like, but it'll make America stronger. They are literally social engineering. Yeah, he's trying to get y'all to, they're trying to turn y'all, it's like some survival of the fittest type shit. They're trying to weed out the weak ones from the strong ones. Government got to minimize the military budget then. I'm so tired of living through historical events. Stronger business wise. I don't know what, and Elon Musk he's pretty much a polygamist. He believes in trying to repopulate the earth. He feels like there's he's trying to, he really wants more white people to produce babies. And that's another reason why they're trying to send everybody back to Mexico and Ecuador and El Salvador. They're gonna probably increase tax credits for people that have babies. He wants y'all to start popping out babies. Telling you. So what's gonna happen to black people? Half y'all gonna end up in prison. Half y'all probably gonna end up in prison. They finna bring back the crime bill. That's what's finna happen. They finna bring that shit back. And what that's going to be, you, Quan? No, it's not. Mm. I don't know why y'all love lumping all black people together. They no, no. What? Let me tell you something though. It is going to be essentially everything that's happening essentially is let me tell you what's going to end up happening. They're probably going to. I remember your video about the election predictions. You were right. Let me tell you what's going to end up happening. Okay, they're trying to get that real estate in the inner cities. They're trying to take the cities back. See, y'all don't realize a lot of these cities are sitting on prized real estate. Baltimore, right off the lakefront, the waterfront, not a lake, but the waterfront. Chicago with the lakefront, um, Philadelphia, New York, San Francisco. Listen, there is prized real estate in the inner cities, okay? And there's already a housing shortage. They are going. They're literally lining this shit up to take back the cities, and that has to start first with pretty much going after the guys in the streets. So these guys, they kind of got it good now because these prosecutors are trying to be more social justice minded, trying to take into consideration the historical inequities that lead black men to committing and doing crime, and they're trying to create these different diversion programs and education programs and try to work on the socioeconomic conditions that give rise to crime. They don't give a fuck about any of that. They're done with that. They're like, no, we done tried this for way too long now. Then we gotta start locking these niggas up. They gotta go. Cause let me tell you, lock them up. Exactly. But the cities are controlled by Democrats. Oh, thank you so much for the gift. No, 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 no. Let me tell you, even these white Democrats, don't get it twisted, boy. Do not get it twisted. These white Democrats, they finna fall in line. Look at what Eric Adams did. He had a phone call with Trump, congratulated him, and then he made an announcement and said, "We ending the damn food vouchers for all the illegal immigrants." They finna fall in line because they're like, "Oh shit." They did not think he was going to win. Now they all got to fall in line. And you know what's going to start happening? Within all these big cities, when they start having their own mayoral elections, okay? When they start having their mayoral elections, Brandon Johnson, gone. He gonna get replaced by a white man. Eric Adams, gone. He finna get replaced by a white man. Karen Bass in LA, gone. She finna get replaced by a white man. They done already replaced the mayor of San Francisco. Gone. All of these major cities are about to get white male mayors all over again. Yeah, Brandon Johnson, he's done. And he was done before Trump got reelected. But his ass, he is gone. Them white folks just say, oh no. Oh no, and yeah, and let me tell you, I'm telling y'all, the white folks, they said, we done with this shit. WLM. That's the era we live in right now. We in a ain't no BLM no more. BLM, that shit is dead and gone. And we are in WLM. White Lives Matter. Y'all better, hey, listen. Stop speaking in the bonding. Start working on your diction. Cut them dreads off. Get you some nice suits. Start watching Fox News. Get them tags on your car. Make sure you got insurance in your shit. Cause baby, when your ass get pulled over, you better you better have your paperwork. You better have all your documentation. No more face tat. You better start going back to church. Cause I'm telling you, this shit is. White folks have said enough is enough. When you get pulled over, you better start acting like motherfucking. Is there a problem, officer? You better have all your shit. It's time to assimilate. Them white folks, they said, we taking our country back. We have let the niggers have it for way too long. It's time to take it back. And y'all, listen, you don't have to tell the officer. You don't have to ask him, what's wrong? No, we ain't doing nothing. You better be like, oh, I already know, officer. I was speeding, wasn't I? Oh, my God, I apologize. Oh, shit. Sorry about that, officer. I don't know. I was distracted. This happened to me before. Let me tell you, white people. Let me tell you, guys, y'all don't know how to talk to white people. Let me tell you how to talk to white people. One time I got pulled over. I was on my phone. I was talking to one of my friends, and I was doing a right turn, and I didn't fully stop, and I got pulled over. And the officer was like, I pulled you over because you didn't put on your turn signal and you didn't fully stop. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. I was just so distracted. I'm sorry. I was like, you need my driver's license and registration? Like, I just immediately volunteered it to him. He was like, yeah, sure. So I gave it to him. I was like, just give me a moment here. I was like, can I put my mask on for a second? Because it was still during COVID. I was like, can I put my mask on? He was like, yeah, go ahead. So I gave him my driver's license registration. He came back. He was like, hey, man, just make sure, I was sorry about that, man. I was just, like I said, I was distracted. My bad. And that was it. But all that, man, I ain't do that shit. I ain't do that. Fuck you pulled me over for, man. I ain't do that shit. Y'all better stop talking back. Stop talking back. But I'd never do that anyways. That's exactly how your brother and son, they be doing that shit. They be like, man, fuck all that, man. And then they want to record. I ain't doing that recording shit. They ain't doing that recording shit. Now I don't know. There's no need for me to record. I'm gonna take my L. And let me tell you something too. I ain't trying to be funny, but if we're gonna be quite honest, um, 9 times out of 10, you got pulled over, you did something wrong. Stop lying. Your ass did something wrong. Every time I done got pulled over, I was like, fuck, they done caught me. I knew I was speeding, well, not speeding because I don't speed, but I fucked up. 9 times out of 10, you get pulled over, your ass, and not even 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, your ass was doing something. Your ass was doing something. It's a quota system, all right, but that don't mean that they got a quota, but they caught your ass. Trust me, I drive a lot. I'll be driving all day long, and I used to drive for Lyft years ago, and even as a Lyft driver, I'm telling a lot of people be breaking traffic laws and don't even realize it, and I'll be looking at the cops like, damn, you ain't gonna do nothing, but they don't care. But if they had to have quotas, trust me, it is so easy to find people breaking traffic laws. left and right. People switching lanes with no turn signal. That's a traffic violation. Uh, Not properly putting in your headlights, broken headlights, broken tail lights. These are all traffic violations. Even just going over 5 miles above the speed limit. Even going slow. Those are traffic violations. Yeah, ignoring. I'm telling you, I be seeing people break the law all the time, driving really reckless. And so the cops. The thing is, in most major cities, okay. Oh yeah, and the sticker shit too, expired tags, all that shit. Here's the thing, and this is what people don't realize about cops, okay? Cops are not stupid. You think these motherfuckers out here just want to break the law just because they got pensions? It is hard to become a cop. You don't just walk into a police station and fill out an application and get hired the next day, especially in big ass cities like LA, Chicago, New York. Yo ass, yo ass gotta, they putting you through the wire to become a cop. And let me tell you something, people don't realize this. They don't realize this, but all them cop cars got tag scanners. So they know who's supposed to be in that motherfucking car. They know. When you get pulled over, they already know. Yeah. They already know. When you get pulled over, unless you trust me, and so in these big cities, the thing is, they got to deal with so much violence that it's pretty much a directive in every major police department to let up off them damn traffic violations, and we gotta make sure y'all on standby in case it's a motherfucking drive-by or a motherfucking shooting or a robbery or a home invasion. That's the reason why they're not pulling people over like they used to anymore, because these young niggas have gotten so crazy and so violent that the cops in like places like Chicago, they gotta be on standby. They in the cut. They can see somebody, weaving in and out of traffic. Because they know if it's a motherfucking shootout on 95th and Ashland, or it's a motherfucking home invasion 83rd and Colfax or somewhere, and they get the call, they got to be able to respond quickly. They don't want to be hemmed up giving somebody a ticket because, you know, that's why there's always a big old crash on the expressway. Exactly. I'm telling you. Yeah. So, yeah, and New York cops, it's not even New York, even in Chicago. At one time, I got into an accident. I called the police. You know what the police told me? We don't come out for traffic violations anymore, sir. Unless it's a really bad accident, you got to drive your ass to the police station. And that's where you get your police report. I was like, what? Yeah, listen, I got my apartment broken into. I called 911. And this was back in like 2012. Even they told me, they were like, are you okay? Are you safe? I was like, yeah. They were like, well, it already happened. There's nothing we can do, so we can send somebody out, but it's low priority at this point. So they're gonna, and the cop. It took him 2 hours to get to my place, so I could get a police report. But these cops now, I'm telling you, what's going to end up happening. They have gotten the permission to go back to how it was before all the woke policing. I'm telling you, it's not. They going back. That John Burge days, niggas finna get their asses. They finna, and let me tell you, the feds, they are not playing. Y'all didn't see they didn't hit Lil Durk with a superseding indictment. They didn't hit his ass up. That nigga is going to jail for the rest of his life. He is done for. He ain't gonna never see the light of day ever again. He ain't never getting out. They do have an indictment. They got a superseding indictment. They added charges to his shit. That's a superseding indictment. They finna RICO him, and they're calling him the kingpin of of OTF. The feds just made an announcement today. They charging his ass a superseding indictment. What's his name again? It was a U.S. Who beat his RICO? Dirk Banks, that's his name. They always want to convert to Islam after the fact. Yep. Yeah, but Young Thug beat a RICO at the state level. That's a whole different listen. When the state comes after you on a RICO, they gather evidence after they charge you. Okay? So they're building their case after they charge you. With a federal RICO, they already got enough evidence to lock your ass away for years. Their conviction rate is damn near 100%. That nigga is going to jail for the rest of his life. He is done. Same thing with Diddy. Diddy ain't getting out. Was the FBI involved? Hell yeah. Hell motherfucking yeah. Listen, Diddy finna have a superseding indictment too. Let me read this to you, okay? This is on the Department of Justice's website. Okay, let me read this to you. A Grammy Award-winning Chicago rapper has been charged in a superseding federal grand jury indictment alleging he conspired with others to murder a rival rapper, resulting in the shooting death of the rival's relative that occurred at a gas station near the Beverly Center shopping mall in Los Angeles in August 2022, the Justice Department announced today. Dirk Banks, 32, aka Lil Durk, Blood, and this had me laughing. His Muslim name, they use his Muslim name, and Mustafa Abdul Malik of Chicago is charged with one count of conspiracy, one count of use of interstate facilities to commit murder for hire resulting in death, and one count of using, carrying, and discharging firearms and a machine gun and possession of such firearms in furtherance of a crime of violence resulting in death. Yeah, he is a Muslim. His dad is a Muslim. His dad converted to Islam while he was in prison. His dad was a big time drug trafficker who was associated with the Gangster Disciples and Larry Hoover. And the feds, they wanted him to pretty much work as an informant and pretty much, you know, help bring down the Gangster Disciples back in the 90s and stuff. And his dad didn't snitch, and they locked his ass up for like 30 years. And then I remember I was watching an interview with him, and he was like talking about, talking about pretty much how he didn't fold, how he what do you call it, how he held it down, and and I'm like, nigga, this ain't nothing to brag about. You a whole ass criminal drug dealer. King Von was a Muslim too. Yeah, y'all didn't know that? King Von, a serial killer, a sociopathic, psychopathic serial killer, gang member, a Muslim. This is the reason why Lil Durk is in prison now. All the BDs, all the black disciples, pretty much became Muslim. Now look at this. Hold on, I'm gonna read this to you. The indictment adds 2 felony charges against Banks, who previously was charged via criminal complaint in this case. The 4-count superseding indictment, returned late Thursday, adds Banks as a lead defendant to a previous indictment returned October 17th and charging the following defendants in connection with the August 2022 murder. So he pretty much what happened was Lil Durk, in retaliation for King Von's murder, and I shouldn't even say murder, okay? King Von had a beef with Quando Rondo over a woman, Blasian Doll, whatever her name is, the rapper girl from Texas. That was King Von's girlfriend, and apparently Quando Rondo was also trying to talk to her. And so they had a falling out because at one point they were close. Okay? So one night, this was back in, I think, 2020. Asian Doll, that's her name. Asian Doll. I said Blasian Doll. Yeah, Quando Rondo, yeah. He's a rapper from Atlanta. Okay? So one night in 2020, okay? Now here's the crazy part. If King Von was still alive, he would actually be in prison. Because King Von also had conspired and used his rap money to send a team of his hitters to go and kill FBG Duck. The other way around, King Von was with Jania, aka NBA young boy's baby mom. I don't know nothing about these nigga shenanigans. Okay? All I know is I do know that it was some with Asian Doll, Blasian Doll, whatever the fuck her name was. And Quando Rondo and King Von had got into it in the parking lot of a hookah lounge in Atlanta. And King Von and his dudes tried to storm and beat up Quando Rondo, and one of the dudes in Quando Rondo's entourage, a dude named Lil Pab, or was it Lil Tim? I think it was Lil Tim. Lil Tim pulled out a gun and shot and killed King Von in self-defense. But it just so happened also that the police, they were also on the scene as well, and there was a whole shootout. And another King Von's associates got popped in the head. Okay? So let me tell you what ended up happening. So all the people in the streets back in Chicago were like, King Von was a real stepper. He was that nigga. You ain't gonna do nothing, Dirk. You ain't gonna slide for your mans. You ain't gonna, this how niggas start doing. You ain't gonna slide for your mans. You ain't gonna go slide for your mans. So for a year and a half, he had all this pressure on him from the internet, from the streets, but mainly from the streets, people in his own camp. They were like, if you don't do anything to get back at Quando Rondo, you is a bitch ass nigga. Yeah. So what ended up happening was they set him up. You talking about these dudes' security is lax and else. Let me tell you where they fuck up at. If you're gonna if you get that big, you need to have real police officers as your security detail. You don't have your homeboys who you knew from the hood, from the block, being your security. Georgia law says if you see someone in harm, you can actually defend them, and it will be self-defense. Yeah, it's actually like that in a lot of states. It's like that in Texas, Georgia, I think even in Florida. And yeah, no, that's what happened because Lil Tim, or Lil Pab, Lil Tim, whatever, whoever the fuck it was, I think it was Lil Tim, initially, because he was detained, but he was let go. He was let go. He wasn't charged with anything because they were like it was self-defense, and they didn't like that. Them Chicago niggas was like, no, fuck that. We need to go slide for Vaughn. So Dirk, he pretty much organized a hit. He put a bounty out on Quando Rondo. And then what ended up happening was, while they were in LA, okay, Dirk got word that Quando Rondo was in LA, okay? So what he did was he and his buddies, they hired they hired BDs, Black Disciples, from another set in Chicago. I think these dudes were associated with a set of Black Disciples on the north side of the city. They flew them from Chicago on private jets to San Diego, and then from there they came into LA, and they already gave them rental cars with fake tags and guns and ski masks, and then they had somebody who was now here's the thing, Quando Rondo, check this out now, because he was going back and forth to California, he became a Crip. He became a Rolling 60s Crip. Now mind you, Quando Rondo is from Atlanta, but he pretty much became a Rolling 60s Crip, right? And apparently somebody in the Rolling 60s was working with Lil Durk to pretty much set up Quando Rondo to get him knocked off, because anytime these street niggas they go to different cities, they gotta check in, right? They gotta check in, right? Yeah, the Rolling 60s. That's the Chicago. That's the Rolling 60s is a set of the Crips in Los Angeles. That's the gang that Nipsey Hussle was in. Okay, so Quando Rondo and his other cousin Lil Pab, they stopped at a gas station. They was in a black Suburban, whatever. They was getting gas, but the whole entire time they didn't realize it. They were being followed by these assassins who were literally flown out from Chicago to carry out this hit. And as soon as they got to that gas station, they just and they were really trying to kill Quando Rondo. Oh yeah, a lot of gangs, they got sets within sets. So like take for instance the Black Disciples. You got So Lil Durk actually is not even from Parkway. He ain't from he's technically from, I think, Lamron. Whoa, what happened to the chat? What happened to my chat? I can't see Okay, there we go. There we go. I don't know what happened to my chat. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That was weird. But what happened was in no, I had to click out of my app. Can you guys see me? Can you guys hear me? They can't put this effort into a business. I know, right? What the hell is going on? But anyways, so someone spamming. Yeah, that's what I figured. So let me tell you, these black gang members, they ridiculous. Like even with Chief Keef, he's from what they call O Block, and they call themselves the 300 Squad. O Block 300, but then there's also 600. You got 600, aka Brick City. Then you got Lamron, that was pretty much Fredo Santana, OTF. It's a lot. They got all these different gangs. Brick Squad. Brick Squad is not. I don't think Brick Squad is. Wait, is Brick Squad a BD set? Do people know any other songs? Yeah, Chief Keef. That's that shit I don't like. Yeah, I think Brick Squad is. You know what? No, Brick was no. Duck was from. What do you call it? He was 63rd. That's what they call Tucaville. And his subset was called the FBG Flyboy Gang. So that's like FBG Brick, FBG Doug, FBG Wooski, FBG Cash, FBG Dutch. King Von, believe it or not, all these guys were once, all of them were pretty much were all friends. They were all friends. Like King Von actually was friends with, he was actually from 63rd Street. What was her, um, Herbo, G Herb, and what's his other name? Lil Bibby. They're from the east side, okay? And if I'm not mistaken, I think G Herb is affiliated with NLMB. No Limit, exactly. Somebody said it. Damn, how you wait? Yeah, CMR. Are you from Chicago? CMR, right? Yeah, he's from. He was associated with NLMB. No Limit Muskegon Boys or No Limit. They got a whole bunch of different names to themselves, but they're not. They're actually not a Black Disciple or a Gangster Disciple set. They're a set. I think they're over there on like 79th and like Essex, Terrortown, and they are affiliate. They're pretty much are affiliated with who G Herbo. He is gang affiliated. He is affiliated. He grew up. G Herbo. He used to him Lil Bibby. They all are from 79th and Essex. They're affiliated with NLMB. They were really big too. EBK, Juvie. Um, who else? Clout, Thought, Drill, Savage, Goofy, Ops. Them Chicago created a new language. They did, yeah. No, FBG. FBG is from 63rd Street. Herb is not from 63rd Street. He's from 79th. I have seen Tuka's mom's interviews. Yeah, those women be lying. Like they. I don't live in Chicago. I don't live in the city of Chicago anymore. I live in the suburbs. Um, and even then, listen. You ain't gonna have no business going over to 63rd. Well, the funny thing is, I used to live not too far away from 63rd Street. When I lived on 55th Street, and when I lived on 47th Street, that area is not that far away. But I used to go down 63rd Street all the time, and I'm like, where's all this action at? But see, I didn't realize it wasn't popping off like that when I lived around during that time. But they're like around 63rd and Eberhard. Um, but you grew up on 62nd Street. Yeah, I didn't realize because that's Woodlawn. I'm like, Woodlawn got it going on like that. I'm like, that's University of Chicago. But apparently they do. I'm like, damn. But nah, like that whole King Von originally was from 63rd Street. He was not over in Parkway Gardens on 64th, hanging out with Chief Keef. That didn't really split off until they started doing this shit when. Can you guys not hear me? They started doing this shit when they were in high school. I'm like, these were young ass kids, 8th grade, ninth grade, 10th grade, doing this, fighting each other and shit. Then eventually they started killing each other. But yeah, those parents, they so full of shit. Like even Ki's mom, she used to piss me off when I used to see. I remember she was on the news with her bullshit talking about her daughter was such a good daughter. She had no idea. Well, no, she never said she didn't have any idea. She knew her daughter was in the streets, but she was like all that lore about Ki being having like 20 bodies on her, and that I'm gonna pull up oh shit, somebody DJU interviewed her.
K.I. so much. Well,
Wow, I didn't know he interviewed her.
even rap songs, right? So just looking back,
She knew. She knew. Yeah, 20 bodies. Yeah,
put your hands
but I'm a or like Mama Capone. Like I'm like, lady, you did not know that your son was out here gang banging. They lying. They just be lying. They know that their son's out there doing dirt. How you not know that your child is hanging out with the wrong people?
It's an ongoing war, and we don't know what for. For Chantel Brown, the statistics are more than just numbers.
Guys.
Within 12 short hours across Chicago, it's an ongoing war, and we don't know what for. For Chantel Brown, the statistics are more than just numbers. Within 12 short hours across Chicago, 14 people were wounded, 2 people killed, one of them being Brown's oldest child. I'm just going to miss her presence. She was a very, very beautiful, well-known, lovely girl. 17-year-old Jakira Barnes loved basketball, her friends, and being with family. I love her, and I'm going to fight for her to have justice, because I don't think it's fair that we're losing our kids being gunned down every day in the streets. It's still under investigation what exactly happened Friday afternoon in the 6400 block of South Eberhard, but neighbors say Barnes and a friend were walking along the sidewalk when a gunman started firing. When the bullet hit, it was so powerful she fell on the step. Residents who do not want to be identified say Barnes fought to live, but had been shot at least 9 times. In the jaw, in the neck, and in the chest, and in the leg. 9 times, he said. Barnes was transported to Northwestern where she died, and tragically for this neighborhood, it wasn't the first child lost to gunfire. I wanted to cry because I had 2 children that had been murdered, so I know how that mother feels. Jakira's mother and several other organizations have collectively put together a $10,000 reward for the person who brings forward the information that leads to an arrest.
Let me pause this for a second because y'all don't know who K.I. is. K.I. is one of the most well-known street assassins in Chicago. She died when she was 17 years old. And Yeah, they said Von did it, and the funny thing is, there's a lot of rumors going around that at one point in time, she and Von were a couple, that they were pretty much fucking around with one another. Okay, so she actually is known for being or having a reputation that she had like anywhere between 15 to 20 bodies on her. Okay, so now a lot of people are like, well, that's kind of well, her mom was like, that's a bunch of bullshit, because she said that she was in constant contact with like the area detectives, and like they never came to her with any of that, right? But no, she was killing people, because let me tell you something. The reason why she died was in retaliation to another rapper who was killed, Blood Money, who was a cousin of Chief Keef. Blood Money, he just signed to Interscope with a label, the same label with um, Chief Keef, and he was about to leave Chicago and move to LA. And a month before he was about to go, he got shot and killed. And it's alleged that she was the one who killed him. Blood Money. And that's the reason why it's alleged that King Von in retaliation went and popped her. And apparently uh it wasn't her who was just shot, it was also her brother. Well, technically her half brother. His name is what's his name? He just got thrown back in jail. But he's been all over the podcast circuit. What is his name? It's FBG Butter. There we go. Butter. That dude, Butter. And you know what's so crazy? How he just got thrown back in jail because he was in a suburb next door to me in Hinsdale, in Illinois. And y'all, let me tell you something about Chicago. Cook County ran by Democrats, liberals, black people, and motherfucking DuPage, Republican, conservative. Hinsdale, they did not hesitate. This dude literally was drunk driving in Hinsdale, and he was speeding, and it was late at night. It was like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and the police went on a high-speed chase with him in the middle of Hinsdale, and then he ran into a barrier inside this neighborhood next to a park, I think. And they literally, I mean, the police, it was so crazy. It was so crazy. He wasn't trying to give the cops his name and everything, but of course they eventually figured everything out. He's the informant for Lil Durk for real, if you ask me, bro. But the pieces together for the feds is Vlad. Okay, here's the thing. Let's stop here for a second. What do you mean by he's an informant for Lil Durk? You mean like he's being used by the feds? He's being used by the feds to hold on for a second. Okay, well, first of all, here's the thing. And I'm not trying to be funny when I say this. I don't care if he's a known snitch. I don't care about informant snitches, anything. My thing is all this street niggatry, it needs to come to an end. So my whole thing is that's not snitching. I feel like the street code, or you shouldn't tell, you don't talk to the police, anything. Why not? That's the problem with y'all in the first place. Y'all need to start talking. You are not doing anything worthwhile in your life for you to feel like you don't need to be talking to the government authorities. These guys, they are like, y'all talking about, oh, it's the streets, you're not supposed to talk, you ain't da 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 da. Y'all ain't fighting over nothing. Exactly. It is not the 90s. Y'all don't control shit. You don't have shit. You ain't making money like that. Negro, if you don't tell the motherfucking cops what needs to be said, then you're gonna fuck around and spend the rest of your life in jail. Right? It's all over schoolhouse beefs. Yeah, schoolhouse beefs and over pussy. Man, fuck all that. I don't believe in that snitching shit. See, listen, I want to make something very. I could never be the mayor of Chicago. They will be calling me the Black Donald Trump of Chicago because I will be saying some shit that will have people be like, "Oh, this shit is. We can't have this. This is." I I don't even believe in fighting people. I really do believe a lot of these young black men need to be tracked. And I know that sounds very controversial, but I think a lot of these young black men start displaying these very disturbing antisocial behaviors at a very early age, and they should be tracked and monitored. And I feel like the first time they start fucking up, you got to remove them from the home, and you got to put them in like really intense, like psychotherapy within some sort of like detention center, prison, jail, whatever, youth detention center, and they need to have. Yeah, you can even see that 2 years old. Yeah, exactly. These kids, they start displaying some very disturbing behavior at a very early age that is very distinct from other children. And I don't know if it's because of the diets, the lead poisoning, the violence they're exposed to. Either way, I don't give a fuck. And nobody else should, because here's my thing, and this is the thing that gets me about black people. We live under the terror of other black people that are essentially making it hard for us to survive and thrive in this society. We are already a disadvantaged minority having to deal with racism, economic disenfranchisement, okay? So it's trauma, pain, anxiety. Whatever it may be. I don't even think it's even all. It could. It's that's probably a contributing factor. So I'm not going to sit up here and be dismissive over that. But at a certain point, that culture needs to be removed and separated from other black people who are trying to be healthy and prosperous. And what I can't stand is, and like, it's a girl going viral right here, right? Not she's not going viral, but she made a video about me and saying how that I'm a misogynist and I hate black women, and that my books are, and that I hate poor black people and this and shit. I'm like, what are you talking about? Because I'm like, first of all, then she was like, and I want to make a separate video talking about how we all need to be one and we shouldn't look down upon poor black people, quote unquote. And I'm like, nobody is looking down upon poor black people, though. Like, the problem is, you got a lot of these stupid ass Gen Z, and this is the problem with the Democratic Party. And a lot of these woke, septum nose ring having delusional, blue haired, witch, pagan, black feminists who literally are out here living in their fucking bubbles, so disconnected from the reality of of fucking what is really happening in black culture, and they're so full of shit because the truth is, once they really go out there and they test their ideas out, they get hit with reality, and then suddenly those same bitches, you notice their whole entire friend circle is comprised of white people or non-black people and other black people that think like them. They don't know no real niggas. That's why they could think that way. Cause once you dealing with real niggatry, and you know how stressful that shit could be, dealing with that shit, you ain't gonna never want to be around that shit. Cause it's dangerous, it's harmful, especially as a woman. It really is. But all these bitches out here with their nose rings and shit, they blue hair working at Starbucks, getting they damn 200,000, wasting $200,000 getting a degree in women's studies or African American studies and shit. They want to be out here preaching all this social justice shit, and they don't have no idea that these young niggas would kill them in a heartbeat if they had a chance. These crackhead ass young niggas that are literally high off of pills, drugs, and if you give them $100, they will go and kill you just because they. I'm telling you, these kids, these young niggas are insane. They walking around here. It's the middle of the summer. They got on all black and ski masks. To them, jail is like a second home. How can you fix that? At this point, listen, we've been dealing with thug culture even when I was a little kid. And I'm 40 years old. I'm about to be 41 next March. So you mean to tell me 40 years later we still dealing with thug culture? No, that's not thug culture. That's inner city culture. That is a subculture that exists within Black America that has to be eradicated. It's not a mindset, it's a culture, it's a subculture. It needs to be eliminated. And the only way you could really eliminate it is, unfortunately, at this point, a lot of these guys just need to be locked up. And some might be rehabilitated, but I don't think a lot of them, I don't think they can. Lock them up. They need to be deported right along with them damn illegals. Because anytime you see these police brutality videos, I'm like, you cannot. Most of these. Let me tell you guys something too, and this is another thing. That's why I don't. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna leave it at this. But you get older, the older you get, and you start dealing with this nigga shit. Where you gonna deport them to? They go take their ass to El Salvador. Yeah, send them to Guatemala or something. Why not join the military? They don't want to do that. Here's the thing. These young niggas, they don't want to work. They don't want to work normal jobs. They don't want to go to the military. They don't want to go to church. All they want to do is smoke weed, fuck, and scam and rap and just they don't want to be a part of. They see being normal, quote unquote, as lame. All they want to do is lay around, smoke weed, fuck, play video games, and rap and gang bang. How do you fix that? If you're dealing with a whole culture of young niggas that have no real serious aspirations and then feel entitled because they still trying to work out their life and trying to get their shit together. And, they 32 years old tomorrow. Man, I'm finna go. I'm trying to get my shit together. Trying to work on woo 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 woo. Nigga, and then they don't want to go to school. You think it could be fixed? I'm gonna tell you how you fix it. Lock them up. Lock them up. That's how you fix it. Lock them up. Throw them all in jail. I don't think you'll be fixed. Oh, see, you're not even in America. You using realization. You using that with S. You don't know how gutter. Right? They are a cancer to other black people. I'm telling you. They are a cancer. They are a real cancer. They make it so hard for other young people to thrive and survive. Right, you can't even get on there. public transit anymore without feeling like you finna get robbed or raped or attacked. I can tell some of these people don't live in certain cities, they can't relate. Where do you live, Real Natural Essence? So you must be, but they be having Bible verses in their Instagram bio. Yeah, they don't give a fuck. They have big ass crosses on their chest, Bible verses tattooed on them. And I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't trust no man with a whole bunch of tattoos like that. Okay, you might have a tattoo here and there, but these dudes, they be getting all them tattoos all over their chest and arms. How do you do? Why are you doing that? I don't know why black women be falling for this shit. I wouldn't dare trust no nigga with all them tattoos like that, all them piercings, that big ass beard. Look, that is a lot of black men are literally their aesthetic is rooted in street criminal culture. Right? They're soulless, exactly. I'm telling you, even that music, I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't listen to rap music no more. I can't. That shit it's just demonic, it's diabolical. It is. The music is suicidal, it just promotes drug use. It's just even the way the beats, the way it's made to produce, it sounds like they're summoning spirits to go to war. Ugh, exactly. Unless when I'm working out, I need that aggression. Even then, sometimes I'm getting sick of that shit. I've been listening to Leith. I don't know if you know who Leith is. That shit is dangerous. I've been listening to some of that shit. The whole entire black culture, it just needs to be. You can't fix that. The only way you can fix it is you gotta remove these. You gotta keep in mind these are grown ass men. Grown ass men. They need to be. They need to literally be thrown in prison for a long time. I don't give a fuck if they institutionalize whatever. Some of them don't need to come back home. Mm-mm. Yeah, some of these niggas don't need second chances. Like you get caught with an illegal handgun, a whole ass illegal handgun. What are you doing with that? Like, why aren't you in school? Why aren't you trying to leave? I don't understand the hood mentality. I really don't. I really don't. And I used to work in social services, and I would listen to people. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like, leave. I used to interview residents at Altgeld all the time. And they could live anywhere. That's the thing that be blowing my motherfucking mind. You get a whole Section 8 voucher and you could live anywhere. But you still choose to be in the ghetto? Why not just go live? Listen, some of these motherfuckers could get vouchers to go live in downtown, the north side, or live in a different suburb. But they want to stay their asses right there in Altgeld Gardens. Or they want to stay in them damn low rises in Cabrini. Or they want to stay over in Lawless. Or they want to be somewhere on the south side. Whatever it may be. I'm like, why? Why? Why not leave? I asked this one lady, she's like, well, it's my home. It's all I know. I love it here. Ma'am, there's nothing out here. It is economic desolation. No grocery stores. The infrastructure is all fucked up. Air pollution. The hell are you talking about? It's, lady, but they can live anywhere. That's the thing that's blowing my mind. They can literally, that voucher, you can take that voucher to any apartment complex in the state of Illinois. Right? Everything boarded up. So at a certain point, I realized you can't feel sorry for them niggas. You really can't. We really in some survival of the fittest Ayn Rand type of situation now. Like that's what I'm telling y'all, black folks. Y'all better start working on figuring out a way how to make you some money. The amount of GoFundMe's will skyrocket. Shit. I don't know. Could be not. Who's to say? All I know is niggas out here, that shit is, it's about to get really real. I'm telling you, because they already got a whole army. They ready to shut every fucking thing down. Anyways, guys, I'm getting tired. I need to go upstairs and go to bed. I'm gonna let you guys later.